For the very first time in 10 years, I will finally play Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I've always seen people talk about how difficult they are for a main series Pokemon game, and I've always wanted to Nuzlocke them. And because of that, this will be my journey. The Gen 7 sequels are widely considered to be the most difficult due to a multitude of factors. The difficult 2-on-1 totem battles that replace gym leaders, the increased Pokemon and move diversity, and not to mention the wide array of trainer battles with near perfect IVs and fully EV trained Pokemon. I'll be going to this playthrough semi-blind, as I'd rather not restart multiple times due to the immensely long early game cutscenes that last for so damn long. The Nuzlocke itself will be a regular Nuzlocke. I'll allow myself 3 healing items per important battle, just so I can actually progress and complete the game. Having said enough, let's get started and go Mantine surfing. Also, this will stream on YouTube. Come watch. Bye! As I hear the waves crashing on the beach and the birds chirping away, I leave my room and get greeted by my mom. Here, she tells me that my current drip is a disgrace to our ancestors, so I return to my room to get dressed with my bag and my hat. I head outside and make my way through Route 1, taking in the scenery and the fresh air of Alola as I look to the sky and try to make a wish upon the stars. Unfortunately for me, my wish is not granted as I get met with a wild Yungoos looking to bite off my toes at the end of the path. However, the 3-star Pokemon come in and save me and save the day. Here, I also meet Professor Kukui, who gives me an option to select one of the 3 starters. As I look into his eyes, just something within me resonated with Poplio, and so Poplito joins the team. What should I name it, Poplito?
Yeah, Poplito. So cute, I rolled it.
I wait for it to be typed here. With my newfound partner, I make my way through the rest of Route 1 and meet my rival Hao at the end of the path. Despite knowing the starter that we chose, Hao still opted to select Litten, despite having a clear choice if he actually wanted to stay somewhat competitive. Then, he has the audacity to challenge us to a battle. Although we haven't been buds for long, Poplito and I make quick work of Hao with a couple super effective water guns to get the KO and the win. I'm sorry Hao, you're not Wolf Glick, okay? Gotta do better than this. With the kahuna missing, I make my way to Mahalo Trail where I meet a mysterious girl in white. Here, we meet Lily and her Pokemon Nebby. We see Nebby run away like a little gremlin and then get immediately ganged up by a flock of Spearow. Being the good person that we are, we make our way across the bridge and KO one of the Spearow that try to attack us. Then as we get to Nebby, Nebby completely ints, blows up, causing the bridge to collapse and for us to fall to our death. On the next day, Kukui meets us in front of our house and teaches us how to catch a Pokemon. I'm sorry man, I already know how to do this. How much Pokemon do you know? And I mean the... Then, he gives us some Pokeballs, which officially starts the Nuzlocke. The very first encounter of our journey on Route 1 is a Grubbin, which we easily catch. Grubbin is pretty cool, but I'll be stuck with a charging block of a Pokemon for some time until I can find an electric rock. Despite having a literal bug on our team, Poplito continues to be the absolute GOAT as we handle all of the first 3 trainers on Route 1. Man, look at his thighs. Bro be working out. Level 6? Whoa! Chillax on that.
Lily, bro.
Oh, chillax.
Lily.
Despite having a clear level disadvantage, Nasty was able to defeat his Pichu with a couple Vice Grips. Yo, W crit, that's actually a gold crit. Then, when he sends in his Litten, I send out Poplito to KO it with a super effective water gun. No, cause like I don't want to switch. Oh, another crit. After the battle, the Kahuna gives us our Z-Ring, which will allow us to use Z-moves. Z-moves are cool, but probably the weakest out of the special gimmicks in my opinion, especially since it's usually used as a one-time one-hit KO button. However, this will prove to be useful later on. On the following day, Lily greets us outside of our house and takes us to Professor Kukui. He gives us our Rotom, in which we put into our Rotom decks, and afterwards we head towards the trainer school. I also technically fail an encounter here because, not having played the games, I wasn't aware that Route 1 is usually split into 3 encounters using the pinwheel clause, because without it the early game would be pretty hard only having just a couple encounters. And so I ran away from this wild Wingull. However, I did actually assume trainer school was a separate area to Route 1 just because it was pretty far away from Route 1, but I still lost the wild Galarian Meowth encounter by accidentally killing it, as I expected it to survive my hit.
Killing it, girl.
The trainers at the school itself were not too much trouble, as Pablito made quick work of youth athlete Hiromi's Bonsly with a water gun, and later took the KO on youngster Joey's Grimer. Looks like he's learned from the past not to use a measly Rattata, and instead use a pretty formidable early game threat that is an Alolan Grimer. The remaining 2 trainers themselves weren't too much trouble as well. Nasty handled preschooler Mia's Metapod, and in a closer battle, due to the opposing Wrap, Nasty took the KO with a super effective Mud Slap on Rising Star Joseph's Ekans. So far, I'm really seeing the early game difficulty with the tough opponents using unorthodox early game Pokemon. Usually you'd expect like a Rattata or a regional bird here and there, but the poison types are proving to be a significant challenge, especially if you only have a Grubbin in addition to your starter. However, after beating all of the trainers, I get called onto the announcements to report to teacher Emily. Here, I met with an opposing Rowlet, which I was not prepared for. Nasty is able to dish out a couple attacks, but weakens it by a rather insignificant amount, while also taking loads of damage.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
Next, I decide to bring in Pablito, who's now at a type disadvantage. Pablito uses a pretty weak disarming voice, while taking quite a lot of damage from the incoming leafage. Looking back on this, I definitely could have played this battle a bit better, as I should have been using Baby Doll Eyes much earlier to weaken the Rowlet's attack, therefore weakening its leafage damage. Despite using my healing items to stay outside of the range of the opposing leafage, Pablito faces herself in front of death. With one fin through death's door, the opposing Rowlet uses one more leafage to grant us our very first death. Pablito's dead. Nasty comes in and retaliates with a Vice Grip that does not kill. When the world really needed him to take one measly kill, he failed at the front of the door. However, by some miracle, Nasty survives the incoming tackle on 1 HP and returns the favor with one last Vice Grip to win us the battle.
Pablito's just dead.
That means I'm dead.
Despite winning this battle against Teacher Emily, it was looking pretty grim. Only having a Grubbin and one other encounter to face the upcoming battles would be much too difficult. And so I decided it'd be best to restart on a new day with a fresh attempt to gain revenge on the Rowlet that ruined our plans.
The next day.
Since our first run, we've gained quite a bit of a tan due to the blazing hot heat of Alola. I'm also going to skip through the early game cutscenes and dialogue because trust me, you do not want to have to go through that again. Even with speed up on my very real Nintendo 3DS, the dialogue is so long, making restarting the last of my priority just so I don't have to go through that again. Along with us, the reincarnation of Pablito joins us on the beginning of our new journey. And for some damn reason, everyone else also wants to come back, as we encounter a wild Grubbin on Route 1 for our very first encounter. We catch the wild Grubbin and fittingly name it Nasty II. This time, we are much more prepared for Hao's battle, as Nasty II is able to KO the opposing Pichu much easier with super effective Mud Slap. Also, like last time, Pablito 2 takes the knockout on Hao's Litten, giving us the win. We can be here all day, Hao, and repeat the same thing over and over and over, but you still won't beat me. Now, understanding the encounters for this game, I encounter and catch Boeing 747 the Wingull at the Howley outskirts. As you'll see later, Wingull definitely would have helped us in our first run if we actually caught it and didn't run away. With an increased party size of 1 since last time, we head towards the trainer school and catnapping ourselves Slay the Meowth who has Technician. If you don't know, Technician will boost moves with 60 base power or less by 50%. Like last time, we defeat all 4 trainers at the school with ease, and this time, we have double the amount of Pokemon since our first run. We make our way up the stairs and greet Teacher Emily once again, who we are much more prepared for this time. With a couple super effective wing attacks, Boeing 747 is able to take the KO on her Rowlet, giving us an easy and a clean sweep win. Having gone further than before, we pet the Tauros on our way to Howley City. Here, this devil incarnate tells us that we need to find stickers scattered across the islands to get some rewards. Nice. As we venture through the city, we meet Hao, who tells us where the Malasadas are, before we both get jumped by a couple of Team Skull members. I'll be honest, Team Skull as an evil team is one of my favorites. They're just so interesting and definitely one of the better ones in the recent games. I get challenged to a battle where we easily defeat his Zubat with our trusty Boeing 747. Here, I actually get pretty distracted, and due to my unfortunate mashing of the A button, I may have accidentally said yes to the Ilima fight with zero preparation, not even getting my encounter for this area, and my team isn't even leveled up to the level cap. This is where I learn a cruel lesson of paying attention to the dialogue to try and not get jumped by a random battle. Ilima here is one of the early game checks that usually causes runs to end. He boasts 2 strong normal type Pokemon that have near perfect IVs and are both fully EV trained. To put that into perspective, a water gun from Poplio against a Yungoos with 252 EVs in special defense will do about 9 damage. Now remove those EVs and it will do about 12 damage. That is about a 25% damage decrease just because of the EVs themselves. At this point, I also had zero idea that the trainers had fully IV and EV spec'd out Pokemon, so I had no idea why all of my moves are doing 0 damage here. You'll also see me doing a big blunder here as I switch out against the Yungoos often, but it has the stakeout ability, which basically increases its damage if the opponent switched out, which is why Slay took so much damage when I swapped him in. Unfortunately, I decided to sacrifice Nasty 2 to the Yungoos to give Pablito a clean switch in.
I have to sacrifice Nasty. And it was Nasty's dead.
When Pablito comes in, he's able to weaken it significantly using Water Gun, but because my defense was dropped and how weak the rest of my team was, I really wanted Pablito to be as healthy as he can for the second Pokemon.
0 damage to it! This thing's stupid. You even have.
And so I decided to sacrifice Boeing 747 to bring in Slay to get the KO with a priority fake out. So far this battle has not been going well. I already lost 2 of my Pokemon, Slay is already super weak, and Pablito is about 2/3 of his health. Smeargle comes in and unfortunately Slay does not outspeed.
Okay, bite, flinch. And it's faster than me.
And yet another member of our team falls. From here on out, I'll just let you watch what happened.
I knew it was hard, but like... Maybe I'm just bad. Am I just bad?
Oh my god.
Why does it have leafage?
Oh my
That's
god.
stupid! Yo, this thing is stupid. What do you mean it has leafage? Pablito's dead. What do you mean it has leafage? Like what? This is completely blind. I have no idea anything.
And so just like that, our second run fails at the early game checks. Being underleveled and not being prepared for the Lima fight proved to be my maker. Despite this, I'm still having quite a lot of fun. The Gen 7 graphics do still hold up to this day, despite having my very real Nintendo 3DS filters, and Sun and Moon were one of my favorite games to end the 3DS era of Pokemon. In this house, we do not give up. I'll see you back at the Yapathon on our third and hopefully final run.
Never played this game. I have no idea anything about this game other than it's hard and certain totem Pokemon are hard. Is Paplito the issue? I don't think so. It's a stupid bug. It's a stupid
Yeah, this-
bug. It's a stupid bug.
You need to run it until you get not the bug.
It's actually the stupid bug that's the issue.
But he leaks liquid out of his tail. He doesn't use paint. He uses
But
his
bro,
own
paint.
liquids. He uses his own liquids to paint.
Are you not allowed to?
I use my saliva with a paintbrush. Am I a painter now? It's okay.
We'll run it back. We'll run it back with Paplito the third. And hopefully not that stupid bug. Hopefully that bug disappears.
If you made it this far, I'd like to say thank you. I put my all into this video and had lots of fun trying new things. Spoilers, but I have gone much further in the third run as of recording this, but the full playthrough will be streamed here on YouTube, so come watch when you can. I'd like to say thank you one last time, so please subscribe, like, and anything else if you've enjoyed it. I'll see you all in the next video.